And welcome back to the show. My name is Anna Zena Mako. As always, I'm your host. And today we have a very special guest. She's a special guest to me. She's a friend and a colleague. And her name is Tiffanie Kellogg. She has an event coming up called the International Childfree Day. And it is to connect, calibrate. Whoa. It is to connect, collaborate, and celebrate. Friday, August 1st from 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. And she specifically specializes in helping women entrepreneurs that are living child-free. Without further ado, Tiffanie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Anna, for having me today.
I really appreciate you coming on as well. First of all, how the hell have you been?
I have been geared up, ready to go. You know, this thing I started talking about in January finally comes to fruition at the end of the week. Woo!
I know. I still don't understand how you have all this energy. I mean, me and several people have had a full-on conversation, and we're like, how does she do everything that she's doing? Because you're the first one to be like, yeah, we're going to do this, and then you do it. Like,
well, it's funny. Sometimes I joke, well, I don't have kids because people are like, you have all this free time. They're like, oh yeah, you don't have kids. Of course you can do that. So there is a little bit of, I don't have some of the priorities that other people do. And some of it is I've hired really amazing people. And let's just be honest, my superpower one of them is speed of implementation. Like if I hear it and I want to do it, it's usually done pretty quick. If I'm like, ooh, yeah, that sounds good for next week or next month, then I'm not as likely to come back around to do it. But a lot of times I'm like, ooh, I want to do this and I want to do this.
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't have that though. I don't have kids or a husband, and I still don't have that. Like my responsibilities are literally just work and a plant and like take care of myself. I don't know. I really think that's a super ability that you have.
Yeah, and that's why, like, all joking aside, that I do consider that one of my superpowers. And like everybody else is like, get ready, aim, fire. I am like fire, get ready, and aim. Like my book is coming out October 16th, and I've written, I don't know, 6,000-7,000 words. So I still have like 3/4 of the book to write.
Well, we need to get together more. I need to feel your energy, and we just need to get together more, and I'm just going to be more like you. I'm trying. I'm doing it.
We can feed off of each other's energy.
So let me ask you a couple of questions, because I know you have an event coming up, and I want women that are female entrepreneurs that have chosen to live child-free to have access to your event. So obviously, had a little tism moment, but why are you helping specifically? Like, what made you get into this specific niche? Because it's so deep.
Yeah, because it is this teeny tiny little sliver of a niche. There is not a lot of people in this. However, that sometimes means that these people are dying for it. To take us back, last November of 2024, I was at a networking event, like so many. I was in a breakout room, and me and this gal, we were just like having this really amazing time and commiserating on the fact that we were both child-free and how that's like for us typically when we network. And it was just like, this was great. And so in December, I'm like, all right, I love that meeting with Kimberly. I want to go do more of those. And so I started looking for the group. I'm like, they have so many mommypreneur groups. Where is the Child-Free Women Entrepreneurs group? It doesn't exist. Like I looked, I asked, I went deep research on AI. Like, where are the child-free entrepreneur groups for women? I did find one group of about 200 people on Facebook that's Child-Free Entrepreneurs. That's the name.
Right.
It runs a great group. But it's men and women, and it's really kind of an online group. And I'm like, I want a networking group. And I'm like, all bummed out. And so that was the end of the year. And then in January, I was having a conversation online, very similar to this, and was chatting with a lady. And I'm like, I've got 20 years of experience working with chambers of commerce, BNI, professional associations, women associations, helping them grow their membership, retain their memberships, just, how do we do this networking and referral thing? And I'm like, well, maybe the last 20 years of speaking has put me in the position to be the one that starts the group. So it is a little bit like, I want to go find the group so I can find people to invite to the group, but we wouldn't be starting a group if there was already a group. So it's just like catch 22 of wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
Right.
But we launch on Friday. Yay for the ladies.
I mean, I personally went to one of your like little networking things, and I mean, you know me, I'm always like, I don't know if I'm a connector, but maybe I'm a promoter, and I didn't think I was a promoter. I think I thought I was a marketer, but I'm definitely a promoter of people that I like. And I like what you have, because me personally, I don't care about whether people bring things up to me or not, about kids or not, but I did like, it was the first time where I was in a female group that it was like, I let it all hang out, as opposed to, I need to be the best version of myself. And I think that's the part that's really, really unique in your group that I haven't seen in other places. It like, a lot of people were really coming in naked and vulnerable, and because it was like, and it was fun and it was welcomed. It wasn't like ostracized or weird. So what got you in? That's a really cool. I didn't know that, by the way. I'm excited I asked. So what got you? Let's go back to your networking thing. I love talking. I'm like, can you give me some of your merits in regards to networking? Because I know that you've done stuff with BNI and stuff, but I don't really think you ever dig in deep, and I'd like to hear about your expertise.
Yeah, so BNI is the first networking organization that I ever got involved in. And before that, I was spending all of my time cold calling. And I joke, I walked into BNI and it's like, there's this room full of people. And you know how they say like the clouds parted, the sunshine? It was like, oh, like all of a sudden, like there's a room full of people that pass me referrals. This is way better than cold calling. So I dived in to networking. And I got involved heavily in my local BNI chapter, as well as chambers, and our Working Women of Tampa Bay is an amazing women's association. And I just started networking, and I was good at it. Hardcore introvert here. So if you're watching and you're like, oh, networking,
extrovert. No.
Yeah, no, I've got the test. I'm not even like slightly introverted. I am hardcore introverted. Me going to this event of like 20 people, that is like super stressful for me. Like, holy crap, I have to go talk to strangers.
I want to see this test, and I want to make you go through other. This is my hobby.
This is not like where I did one assessment and it gave me the results that I wanted and I stuck with it. No, all of the tests.
I need to see these. Oh my God, I need to see this. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm really shocked. And I read people, please let me see these tests. I'm so excited. Sidebar. Sorry.
Yeah. I am. So like Myers-Briggs, I am an INTP, which is not what people typically expect of me.
Keep going. So you went and you were like, I'm an introvert.
Sorry. So I'm just like all, squirrel.
It's okay. It's my job to keep a surprise. It's my job to keep a surprise.
Well, and it's funny. So it makes total sense why I love BNI, because Dr. Meisner, who founded BNI, is a hardcore introvert. And so like the organization fits. Yeah. Like having the visitor host and having all of that, you can see how it's a group that definitely takes care of the introverts. But I was doing well in BNI, and I started training at the local level, the regional level, in the BNI world. So I keynoted their Philippines conference in the early 2020s, back when we were still on Zoom. I'm the most popular guest on the BNI podcast. Let me rephrase that. I'm the most frequent guest on the BNI podcast. I don't know that there's actually been a popularity contest between the guest. Though hopefully, I'm at the top of that. So I've helped BNI actually create what's the curriculum for the Power Teams program that they run in BNI University. So I've played in the networking world. That's just, in BNI and helping have an amazing region. I partnered with professional associations. Sometimes I'll be the chambers, like Chamber Membership 101. So I've played with quite a number of different networking organizations around the world and helping them keep their members. And so referrals and membership and getting the most out of your relationships is like my wheelhouse. Like I am here and ready to play. And so it just made sense that this would be such a great thing for me to do, because I was kind of in a, what do I want to do next in my life? Very often I'm like, what do I want to be when I grow up? And I feel like it changes quite frequently, you know, as we mature every 5 or 10 years, what's the next evolution? And I'm not leaving behind my More Abundant Entrepreneur community. That is still there. I'm still speaking. I'm still doing all my stuff. We were just adding the women entrepreneurs living child free.
I see. So you're kind of taking your passion. That makes sense. I'm going through the same thing. You're taking your passion and your expertise with everything that you've gained through life and making your business something that you are passionate about, and you're creating a community around it. I love that.
Yeah.
I can see the whole thing now.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting because it's really not about being child free. We had somebody who visited our mastermind and they're like, we didn't talk about child free or kids at all. I'm like, I know. And it left a ton of space for other things. And so like, this is not, there are a ton of child free groups out there for like, what do you do when you start dating somebody? Like to me, before I start dating, I'd be like, I'm child free, but everybody's different. Or what do you do when your friends are having kids and you're not? Or what do you do when all your friends are having grandkids and you're not? Like, those are not the conversations that I'm looking to have. There are great groups out there for that. I want a women entrepreneurs group. So really, it's just a women's group. There are so many amazing ones out there, but like, I've always had women group envy. Like, I see people posting and they're like, we just had lunch and I love my people. We retreated and we did this and we did this. And I'm like, and I've gone to those exact same groups, but I never felt like I really fit. And this year, I didn't feel like I fit because it's not that it always turns to being a mom. And I'm very much pro mom. You want kids? Great, have kids. You don't want kids? Great, don't have kids. You don't know if you want kids or not? Go borrow somebody's brats for 2 weeks and see what it's like to be the sole caregiver for 2 weeks and see how you feel after that. And then make the decision. Like, I'm fine, like pro whatever you want to do. But I just didn't feel like I fit. And so this is just, here's where those child-free people can come and congregate.
You touched on it a little bit, but you said that like most of the conversation wasn't even, it had nothing to do with having kids or not having kids. It actually had to do more with what we were talking about in regards to business. So you're saying, what was your experience, I guess, since this is a new thing that's that you're creating, that hasn't been created, that's not out there? Your experience so far, would you say that there's more time that's used in business, which is what you're looking for? Because that's what I'm gauging and I'm feeling, but I'm just trying to make sure that that's like clear.
I think the big part is women just are used to being on the outside. Like I kind of equated it to, imagine that you're the minority religion. If everybody else is Christian, but you're Muslim, or everybody else is Hindu and you're atheist, or whatever it may be, like, it's different and it may or may not enter the conversation, but sometimes it does. And if you're one that never has kids and everybody's always talking about their kids, you just kind of, you don't have that connection with them. And I think that because child-free right now, at least, is still in a minority. We definitely live in a society that does have a tendency. I mean, my gosh, right now in the United States, they're talking about giving us $5,000 to have a kid, which it costs you like $300,000 to raise a kid. But they'll give you a $5,000 tax credit. Y'all, that is U.S. government math. But it's like, there is some pressure, whether it's societal or religious, you know, it is standard to be that you're a woman, have kids. And so you're breaking outside of that mold. And just like entrepreneurs have to kind of deal with other people not getting it because they're 9 to 5. Now we've got women entrepreneurs and they're child free. So they felt like they don't fit in when everybody's talking about kids, or when they say, you know, Anna, when are you having kids? And for like me, I'm not having kids. Why not? Why is that any of your business? But then the business conversation goes to, well, what's wrong with Tiffanie and not having kids? And I chose it, y'all, and I'm fine. I have no problem saying I didn't want kids. Like as a kid growing up, the one thing I remember about my plans for when I was an adult is my mom was going to babysit my kids while I went to work.
Oh yeah, that's different.
That is the only thing that I remember. I'm not saying that there weren't, but that's the only thing that I remember.
That's different than other women that are like, I want to have a baby one day.
Yeah. And more power to those women.
You know what, baby? I'm gonna call my mom's gonna kill me. I'm gonna call my mom and be like, I don't think you should have had kids. I think you wanted to be just an entrepreneur. I'm just kidding. She brought us to work.
It was interesting. I was talking to a child-free woman last week, and she said that when she was in her 30s, her mom was having a conversation with her, like, I love you, and I wish I hadn't have had kids. Like, not I would have gotten rid of you, but just, looking back. And again, these are issues that we really won't be dealing with. So I am looking to connect with other women running those kind of groups.
We will.
There are going to be people that are like, do I want to be child free? And my goal is to be able to push them to other places that have those kind of groups, that have those kind of conversations. I want to be focused like 99% on the business, y'all. There's amazing people out there to do the other stuff. I'm in the entrepreneurial space. That's where I want to play.
Yeah. And I think that there's, touching on that, like, I think that what's happening and what's going to continue to happen is we're going to see, we barely now have women making 40% of the workforce, right? We barely now are catching up to like trying to have equal wages and demand what we believe we're valued, etc. The option to choose is something that's been fairly like hindered, and that's really what we're seeing is we're seeing both sides. Because for every example of women that were housewives and wanted something more, I can also see women that had something more and didn't have family, and then at the end they're like, oh, now I don't have some. So it's just fascinating to watch. I think we're going through a weird period where there's options and people are just realizing that they have options to choose from. It's not just one cookie cutter. So I understand now, like, the vision and the mission that you're on, and it is important because women don't. There's a lot of mental health issues in entrepreneurship, and this is a huge topic I can see for a lot of women. I didn't know. Honestly, I had no idea because I grew up with the luxury of like my mom wanted me, had me with my dad, chose him, was like, you're my sperm bank donor. Got divorced, had another kid through artificial insemination, was like, I want another one. And this is the kind I want. She like treats it like a menu thing. So me growing up, I never, one at 21, the other one at 44 or 45. So I've never grown up with any stipulation of you should or shouldn't, and she wanted to be a business owner. So I saw that happening too. And so for me, what I've seen is like, women can be anything that they decide and choose to be, but they have options and they don't know it. And you're a big option. I'm really excited to see what you do, because I think with women having the choice, we're going to see more women being like, yeah, I do want to be child free and I'm okay with that. And I want that to be okay too.
Yeah. My vision for a world, I hope that we can empower women in a way that really lets them choose what would be best for them, what they want, not what societal pressure puts them to, or their friends or whatnot. Like, I really think that having a kid, because it's such a natural thing, like it is the only thing in our world that like we can just kind of get shoved at us because of biology. But there's a lot of other things that like if it wasn't so immediate, which makes total sense why it's so immediate, why it's such a pleasurable thing, because we're the society continuing on. But it's like, I hope that women get to say, I do really want, I don't really want. And for those in the middle, figuring out which works best. Because there are some people out there that are like, no kids ever. And I'm like, how in the world would no kids ever work? The society would end. And there's some people that think like that. And no. To me, it is all about, let's have that positive and supportive community, the like-minded women. And it is that Venn diagram I keep going back to, that little sliver of women, of entrepreneurs, and of being child-free. I just noticed your nail color. I love your nail color.
Oh yeah, serotonin.
I gotta go get mine done before the event on Friday. Y'all, we have an event on Friday. But I like the nail color that you got.
Well, let's tell us about the event on Friday first.
Yes, so Friday is International Child-Free Day. Y'all, I did not make that up. It's been around since 1973. It was originally Non-Parent Day. So here's Mother's Day and Father's Day. Where's Non-Parent Day? Here it is. Yay! So Friday is International Child-Free Day. Would not be the day that I typically like to do events. Like I want to be done Friday. Book club ends at 1:45. I'm like, can I be done for the day? Usually a massage. However, because it's International Child-Free Day, I'm like, it has to be on this day. So we are hosting an event from 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I know it's a little bit late for the European folks, but we do have a few from Europe planning on joining us. And Hawaii is like they can wake up. So we've got some folks coming. Last I checked, I think there's 7 different countries represented so far of people that will be attending. And it's going to be a lot going on in 3 hours. So it's a very fast-paced, moving event. We're going to have a networking round every hour. So we'll start off the event with networking. We'll do networking right around 2:30 and then again around 4. We're going to be doing some masterminding along the way. So we've got a couple questions that we're going to ask and get some answers that hopefully could help you, as well as we're going to talk about how do you create I'm looking for the document. It's not on my desk, but how do you create a 1-page document of here's things that people want to do to help you. Here's things you want to do to help people, and having this so it makes it super easy for you to collaborate with your network. And I think we're going to put, Anna, somewhere the link to this event. And if you use coupon code WELC, so that's Women Entrepreneurs Living Child Free, WELC 98, and that will get you your ticket for $1. And we are going to be doing, there's the
I was working on putting little
98 on there too. So WELC 98. Ha 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 ha.
You're like, where'd she go? What is she doing?
Like Anna, and I get, so she's like, I don't know if y'all see her bouncing off and not. I can't see any of the background. So I'm just like, we're here, we're having fun. Yay.
I always feel like I give people a panic attack when they come on the show, because every time they go on a show, it's like, here's the link, here's the this is what's going to happen. And I'm just like, 10 minutes before, like, here's the link, 2 and 10.
We'll be fine. It's all
good. Everyone is like, it's fine, guys.
We're easy to find. Women Entrepreneurs Living Child Free, y'all. On everything but YouTube, because it was too long on YouTube. So I think it's like Child Free Women Entrepreneurs. I don't know.
You know what? And that's like really what it comes down to, because I had this channel was originally my first YouTube channel, and I basically just had a bunch of internet wars with trolls. And like, of course I'm going to do that. I'm like 30 years old and I have no husband, no kids. So I'm like, let's have internet wars. So
I got my first troll this summer.
Did you really? How are you doing with that? Because how are you?
So it was on the Women Entrepreneurs Living Child Free page, and he's something about, well, isn't that like the end of society and government or something? And so I very much, because I'm going to respond because that's just me. But it was a very positive and supportive, hey, yeah, so this group, we're focused on entrepreneurs. We don't address that. And like he'd come back with something else. And I'm like, that is outside the scope of this group. Please go find another group that would be more of it. Because here's the thing. Like, I mean, I'll have political talks with people, but I don't really want to have those regardless of where we're at. I'd much rather talk about, okay, how can we impact the economy? How can we make the United States better? By making businesses better. Like if I can help my clients be more profitable, then they make more money, their families make more money, and then it ripples and then it ripples. I don't have to deal with the government part of it to make a positive impact in the world. At least that is how I feel.
It is. However, we love trolls because they help with the algorithm.
Yeah.
So what you did is perfect. And I want your analytical brain, because you're face reading, so I know you love analytics. And I know your personality through Myers. So like we're like this. Like this. But Touchcracker. Oh, the trolls. We utilize them. You want to kind of like rage bait them sometimes, especially if you're not getting, because it's the tier, right? So the first tiers you're getting the like kind of like the trash of the ocean, like those little bugs at the bottom of the ocean. Those are the trolls. But the more that those bugs come around, the more that the fish are attracted. So a lot of people, they see the bugs as like, oh, they're gross, or oh, I don't like it. Guess what? Human beings were tricked into paying top dollar for those bugs. They're called crabs. So that's just what it is. It is what it is.
You know, I love the lobster main story because they're like,
it is what it is, dog. They're insects of the ocean. Oh, but this is a really good analogy. And so these bugs, they come around, and they start attracting more marine life. And now that whole marine life is very abundant. But the trick is to get them to keep coming back. So but we see them as like a fun thing, and they get irritated on the other side because you're not getting irritated. So that's why they keep coming back, but they don't realize what they're doing every time they're commenting your video is they're pushing it up.
See, the one guy was like, he's like, you're so positive. I'm like, yep, that's me. Shaq, you're not gonna get. I mean, it takes, and not that I'm always positive and not that I'm always happy. People don't always believe it. Yeah, there are plenty of times I have my issues. I had one like 2 hours ago. I'm like, I need better. Then I meditated and I was better. But you're not gonna rage bait me into having a conversation on social media. That's just not gonna happen, y'all.
Yeah, it's just so funny. Anyways, I'm really excited. The code is at the bottom. That's the correct code, correct?
Yes, WELC 98. No spaces, caps don't matter. That'll get you the ticket for $1, y'all.
Oh my God, I'm excited. And this is going to be on all platforms of social media. So you'll have people from LinkedIn and all sorts of places come in. If you are a female entrepreneur that is living child-free and you want to make a big impact and meet a lot of people, I would highly suggest that you go to this event. I have been to networking events that are in the same theme for this event, and we got a lot done. And it had nothing to do with family, whether you had it or didn't. We just got a lot done. It was fun. Also, I like the girl that we met. What was it? The bro girl? She called herself the marketing bro. She called herself the marketing funnel bro.
So Kimberly, the marketing funnel girl. There was another girl that was like not bro marketing. That was Kimberly Clark, I think.
Yeah.
One of the both Kimberlys, go figure. So it was one of the Kimberlys at the event, and I think that they are both and they both are on the list for Friday's event, so they will both be there.
See what I mean? It was just, I guess, let me just say this before my butt clenched. I'll tell you about that later.
Oh gosh.
But what was it that I just said? What were we just saying?
We were talking about networking at the event, the cool folks.
This is what I was going to say in regards to the networking at your event and the people that are coming in. I didn't, God, I'm trying to find the correct word. There we go. Pattern disruptors? There you go.
Okay.
It was like being in your group with the best way I could describe it, which is what I'm trying to create, is a room full of pattern disruptors. Because it wasn't, maybe there were like, I'm judgy, maybe there were like one or two that were like, no children, blah. But the rest of the women were freaking powerhouses. They were like, and they had their own theme, and like, it was outside of the box things that work. For my marketing brain, when I see that, I'm like, oh, these are hitters. Whether they're heavy hitters, whether they're on their way, whatever it is, they're very much like go-getters. And it's hard to find several in a room, let alone the majority of the group being like that. That's what I wanted to bring up. Because there we go. That was the magic sauce that I was like, this is
yeah.
And
I think that it's going to be pretty common because people have said, well, what else do these women have in common? And I'm like, dude, there's enough. They're women, child-free, and business owners is all that we need.
You're right.
Like, what's your client avatar? The description.
You know what?
Plenty deep.
I can see this being really, really making strides because of that, because you're right. We all get lost. We don't, at least for me, I didn't, whether it was by purpose or not, like I do see, it's not that I see my business as my baby, but I see all this love that I have to offer that I love to love. And I'm putting it in my business that helps people. And I'm like immersed with this huge thing of like, I want to help all these people and put all this love into this. And it's hard to find other women, you're right, that do that very same thing. Yeah. And that's what I'm seeing is these women that have put their everything into this thing that they're promoting as they're going around life. And it's like,
yeah,
something really cool, girl.
They chose to be an entrepreneur, which is, you know, your own thing. They chose to be child-free, which is its own thing. And you put them together. And so I find these women have a strong backbone. Doesn't mean that they haven't faced adversity, but they're authentic in a way that I don't see authenticity as much as a higher percentage at all the networking groups. And I just feel like because these women have made these choices, they're used to having to be like, this is me, accept me or not. And so I'm so excited about what we're creating.
That right there. That right there.
That's it.
We're also going to go back into this recording because that energy right there that you have right now, that's what you need to have when you're promoting this. It came from your like soul into it. Honestly, like it's almost like dark feminine, where it would in my brain. This is, I don't know why I'm saying it like this, so I hope you don't take offense to it. It's like supposed to be a good thing. There was a story of a goddess with the name of something where she got kidnapped by Satan, and she had to keep going back every 6 months by eating, because she ate a pomegranate or something.
Okay, I think something like that.
And that's why we have seasons, because she's crying every time she has to go to hell for 6 months because she has to be away from her family, right? And the female power within that is really intense. When you were saying right now, like, oh, I can't wait for people to see it, this is like what they're going to experience. It was almost like you were channeling her energy from that. It really wasn't strong. It was like just natural dominating presence of like, I desire this so deeply. There you go. The desire of it being so deep when you communicate that penetrates me. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay, because I'm gonna like micro thing you with this because it was like fucking good. Oof.
Love it. Yeah, let's use it for something else too, y'all.
Okay, cool. Well, again, Tiffanie, thank you so much for being on the show today. And do you mind plugging in how people can contact you, especially to go through that one more time? I'm going to put it in the description for you guys, and the code is on the bottom here. One more time, just in case you can't see and you can only hear.
Yes, so y'all, Tiffanie Kellogg, Tiffanie Kellogg, Kellog. Last time I checked, I'm still the only one spelled that name. So TiffanyKellogg.com, at Tiffanie Kellogg on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of that. And then for the group specifically, Women Entrepreneurs Living Child-Free. So on Facebook, on LinkedIn, we've got a page, brand new, Women Entrepreneurs Living Child-Free. We have a group private on Facebook, as well as the website, Women Entrepreneurs Living Child-Free. And remember, when you're signing up, use the coupon code WELC98 to get you a $1 ticket, and you can come hang out with me and Anna on Friday.
I'm so excited. I will see you on Friday, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know what to do. This show is for entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers and executives that are looking to make an impact in their industry and leave a legacy. Again, my name was Anna. This was Tiffanie, and we will see you guys later. Bye.
Happy networking.